But let's find a comfortable seated position, and let's warm up our wrists a little bit, because we do ask a lot of our wrists in all yoga practice, unless we just did a standing practice, which we could do. We could do a session where we just did a standing practice, and maybe I'll think about that for next time, and I'll put together some sequences that will be meaningful. And I also noticed there's another prop that I've seen in yoga studios. I've never used them myself, but they're these hand grips. They almost look like sanders, you know, those sanding blocks, only they have grips, but they're flat. And I've seen people use that, and I think it's to help with wrist and shoulder issues when you're doing sun salutations. I have no idea if it's effective, but I have seen some people use that. Okay, so come to a comfortable seated position. It can be whatever that is, and stick your hands out like you're saying stop. And we are going to open and close our fingers 30 times, kind of quickly. And I'll count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. Good. And now place your hands on your thighs and swivel your fingers so that they're facing each other. So like that, and kind of bend into it and then bend away. And we're putting a little bit, we're asking a little bit of our wrists. And now go like this. Place it so that your the heels of your hands are facing, and kind of see if you can get a little bit of a stretch in your arms, because of course your wrists are connected to the inside of your arm and those muscles and ligaments, which we kind of tend to ignore. Now see if you can go like this, placing your fingers facing your body. That might be the biggest stretch of them all. And place it down on the floor. Let's wake up our side body a little bit. I'm going to remove my blocks. I'm going to go on the floor. I'm going to place my left hand on the floor. Extend your right arm up and come over. Big side body stretch. Keep your butt firmly on the ground, not moving up or down. Now, other side. Really big side body stretch. You can bend your arm that's on the mat and come back up. Look up. Let's wake up our neck a little bit. Left ear to left elbow. I mean shoulder. That'd be interesting if it went to your elbow. Right ear to right shoulder. And you want to try to keep your shoulders parallel. And again, back to left. And back to right. Now to the chest, chin to chest. Really straight spine. And now chin to the ceiling. Now let's combine it all. Let's go left, back, right, chest. We're just going in a circle with our breath. And go in the opposite direction. Good. Wow, that for me is huge. It really feels good. Come back onto your mat, and we'll start let's go into Supta Baddha Konasana, which is you're on your back, your soles of your feet are together, and your One hand is on your belly and one hand is on your heart. And breathe. We're going to start with a brief meditation. So breathe in, just notice your breath. Notice how it feels to breathe in and out. Close your eyes if that's comfortable. Breathe in. Notice your belly going in and out, or maybe your chest moving up and down. Now start your Ujjayi breathing, which is through your nose. Inhale and exhale, making the sound of the ocean. And start to count your breath. Maybe it's a count of 3 or 4, but the point is that your inhales and exhales are even. Hold a moment at the top and then exhale, hold at the bottom. Do that for 5 rounds of breath, counting. One more round. Now bring your thumb and forefinger to your nose, block your left nostril with your thumb and breathe in through the right side for 4 counts. Hold, block your right nostril, breathe out. Again. And one more time. Bring your hands to prayer position, close your eyes, and take a moment and try to hear the thing that is most distant. Now, try to hear the thing that is the closest to you. Open your eyes, raise your arms above your head, stretch up, stretch your spine. Really pull the crown of your head towards the ceiling. Bring your hands back to prayer. We'll start the practice today. If I can get this frog out of my throat. Excuse me. With the sound of one Om. Breathe in and out. Breathe in. Om. Very good. Come to tabletop position on your mat. Your knees are directly under your hips and your shoulders are directly on top of your wrists. And take some of the weight off of your wrists by really drawing up the pit of your stomach so your belly button is reaching your spine. And breathe in and out. And do some cat-cows. Cow, drop your belly, look up, and on an exhale, round your spine, cat. Cow, look up, inhale, exhale to cat. 4 more of these. Inhale, cow, meow, cat. Cow, exhale, cat. 2 more. Inhale, cow, exhale, cat. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Come back to a neutral spine. Bring your left toes behind you on your mat. Your toes are on the ground. Cupcake your right fingers in front of you. Hold here. Now bring your hand and your leg up simultaneously and stretch. Bring your cupcake hands and toes back down. Come back up and stretch. I'm really kicking the wall behind me. Cupcake hands down. One more time, stretch. And this time, bring your elbow to your knee. Stretch out like I'm shaking someone's hand, stamping the wall behind me with that foot, and crunch again. Bring your hand to the mat and breathe. 2 more rounds of cat-cow to wake up your hips and lower spine. Cupcake your left hand and bring your right toe behind you on your mat. Breathe in, raise your hand and your leg, extending. Bring your hands and your toes down. Raise your hand again and extend your foot and bring it down. Inhale, extend. Exhale, down. 1 more time, up and crunch. Bring your left elbow to your right knee. Extend out. Left elbow to right knee. Extend out. 1 more time. Left elbow to right knee. Extend out. Come back to tabletop. And very slowly, if it's there for you, our first downward dog of the day. Thinking about really using your abdominals to pull yourself up and back slowly and pedal out your feet. Again, think about bringing some more of the weight. Draw it up into your belly. Try to come out of your wrists, maybe by really plugging your shoulders in. Breathe out, and tiptoe forward. Lots of little steps. Come forward on your mat. You can come up onto your fingertips if that works. And ragdoll. Clasp opposite elbows and really let the weight of your head drop to the floor. And you can shake it out if that's comfortable. Sway side to side. Keep some bend in your knees, maybe a lot of bend. Really try to get your head, the crown of your head down and loose. Halfway lift, straight back, shoulders down your back, and forward fold, hands on mat. Mountain pose, come up to stand, raise your fingertips over your head, and dive down, forward fold. halfway lift, high plank, knees on the mat, go there. Low plank, tuck your elbows in, halfway down only. Upward facing, bring your body through your chest through your arms, and again, back to downward facing dog, real slow, with intention, with strength, and pedal out your feet. And breathe. On an exhale, you can bend your knees and jump forward or take a big step forward to the top of your mat. Fold down, come up halfway, fold again, and exhale. Come up to mountain on an inhale, fold down, halfway lift. This is a really energetic pose. You're really drawing the crown of your head forward to the wall that's in front of you. And step back to high plank. You can put your knees on the mat, lower down halfway, tucking your elbows, upward facing dog, and downward facing dog. Breathe. Step your right foot forward between your hands. Bring your left foot to a 45-degree angle and come up for warrior one. Now you can start by just getting yourself set up. So I may have to scooch my toes on my right leg forward a little bit. Look down, my knee is over my ankle, my toes at 12 o'clock. Come up to your hips, see where they're set up. You want your pelvis to be slightly tucked, more neutral than anything. Bring your hands up to cactus, see how that feels, particularly if you have a wonky shoulder, and if you stay here, or maybe you bring your arms up to a full warrior one, and hold this. So when we hold poses, it builds strength, and yoga uses our body weight as opposed to free weights to build that strength. Hands to mat, draw your right foot back to high plank, knees can be down, low plank, and we only go halfway down, and we tuck our elbows in. We come up to upward facing and draw back to downward facing. You can go through tabletop to get there, and breathe. Step your left foot forward between your hands. Put your right foot at 45 degrees at the back of your mat. Come up slowly. That back leg is really, really strong. And the blade edge of that back foot is really digging into your mat. So it's almost like your feet are pulling your mat in two. See where you're set up. Look at your knee. It's not caving in. See where your hips are. Come up to cactus. Maybe you stop there, or bring your arms up to full warrior one. And breathe. And sink. Hands to mat. Pull your left foot back. Come up to high plank. This is the chaturanga business. Lower down halfway. Come up to upward facing dog and draw back to downward facing dog, and breathe. We're going to do a warrior one again on each side. Right foot forward. You got the cues. Come up and breathe. Feel strong. You are strong.
Pinwheel your hands down to the mat. Draw your right foot back, high plank, low plank, upward facing dog, and downward facing dog. And breathe. Left foot forward, between your hands, warrior one. Stack it up, get it lined up, and full extension. Now listen, step your right foot forward to meet your left at the top of the mat and come into chair pose. So we look down, I can see my toes, and now I bring my arms up and sink your hips. Try to bring your toes up off the mat and lower them down. And fold. Halfway lift. Forward fold. Come up again to chair pose. And sink. Bring your hands to heart and twist right by hooking your left elbow around your right knee and try to stack your shoulders. The crown of your head is really drawing towards the front of the room. And really, my hands are really cemented, my palms are cemented together, and I'm using that as leverage to try to get a bigger twist. Try to draw your belly off of your hips, off of your thighs, and breathe and sink. And forward fold. Mountain pose. And sink into chair. I like bringing my toes up off the mat in this pose. You can also put a block between the upper part of your thigh. That sometimes really helps you bring some continuity or some strength to this pose because you're really pressing against that block. And by lifting your toes up off the mat, it really makes you feel all four corners of your feet. Drop, chair, hands to heart, twist left, hooking your right elbow around your left knee. You can remove the block if that gets in the way. Breathe. And really try to get some leverage. Look at your knees. Is one popping out? Draw it back if it is. Some people like to open their arms here. I don't think that works if you got a wonky shoulder. And fold down. And breathe. Halfway lift. And fold. Grab your toe, your big toe, with your forefinger and your thumb for yogi toe lock. And really bend your knees and let your head fall. And really relax into this pose. Come up halfway, mountain pose, and come into eagle. So eagle is, it's kind of like a chair, right? So I'm going to come back here. So come into chair. You can either wrap your right arm around your left or your left. We're wrapping our legs and our arms into a bind. So this is a strong bind. We're wrapping our shoulders, well, we're wrapping our arms and our legs. And we're balancing on one foot. And breathe, find a drishti point, and sink. Come up, foot on mat. What I was trying to say is, it doesn't matter if you wrap your arms or your legs first. Whatever works, it's fine. I think I tend to wrap my arms first and then bring my leg across. Find a drishti point, really gaze at it. And sink. Come up. And eagle again on your right, wrap and wind. This is a double bind. And come up. And one more time on the left. Sink and wrap. It's important to bring your elbows in line with your shoulders. Sink, breathe, and mountain pose. Now let's draw our right knee up to hip height. You can hold on to your knee, and if it's there for you, draw it out to the right and extend your left hand. And if it's there for you, look over your left hand. And breathe, and bring some water to your left knee. And bring your foot to the floor. Let's go into some more balance. See if you can do this. If you fall out, you know, I say this all the time, if you fall out, that's really just showing that you're really doing the extreme form of the pose. So there's a sequence. Get a block if you have one and put it down next to your right foot, maybe on the highest setting, or a can or whatever you've got. Your hand can also go on the floor. So we're gonna kick back into warrior three, which is your arms are out in front of you, your left leg kicks out behind you, your toes are flexed, your fingers are active, they're sparking up. You might have a little bit of an up dog in your chest, but you're looking at the floor. Breathe. Now bring your hands back to airplane. So now they're behind you and your pinkies are drawing towards one another, and breathe. Now you definitely have up dog in your chest. And now reach for your block and go into half moon. Your left hand is now reaching for the ceiling. Your left foot is active behind you, stamping the wall. You've got some water in your right leg. And you breathe. Bring your foot to the mat. That's a very energetic little series there. So now we're going to do the other side, okay? So we are going to come into a standing position. You can start in mountain pose if that feels good. But now we're going to extend our right foot behind us, energetically, bringing our hands out in front of us. My palms are facing one another. Breathe, warrior three. Now bring your arms into airplane. So your arms are extending behind you. Pinkies are drawing towards one another. And grab your block and go into half moon. So now my right hand is reaching for the ceiling. My leg is active. And I bring some water into my left knee. And breathe. And breathe. And floor. Good job. I was so busy trying to do that myself, I didn't see how you all did, but that's fun. So kick out your legs a little bit, because if your legs are like my legs, I kind of felt that. But it's really good for, really brings some strength to your hips. There's some more strength. Okay, let's go into some dancers. So with dancer, it doesn't have to be a huge movement. You want to grasp your right ankle with your right hand. My knees are together. My right thumb is kind of pointing towards the ceiling. I bring my left hand up overhead and I just hinge forward enough so that my shoulders are parallel, but I'm really pulling against, my arm is pulling against that ankle. And breathe and Drishti. and floor. And let's do the other side. So dancer on the left now. I'm grasping my left ankle with my left hand. My thumb's pointing up. My right arm is pointing towards the, my right hand is pointing toward the ceiling. And I'm just going to tip forward. Hinge at the hips. Pull that leg back. Almost like a, I don't know if fulcrum's the right word. And I'm drawing forward, but I'm trying to keep my shoulders parallel. If you fall out like I just did, just get back into it. Breathe. And down. Good job. And let's finish up the equanimity with some tree. So you can have your foot in kickstand. It can be on the inside of your shin, or it can be up in your thigh, but not on your knee. Hands at prayer. You can really dig your thumb knuckles into your chest. And breathe. And drishti. And floor and other side. Try to draw your bent knee to the wall on, in my case, on the left. And floor. And one more time on each side. Right side tree. Floor and left side tree. And floor. Some days balance goes better than other days, but balance is one of those yogi poses that you can do when you're waiting online, when you're standing at the sink. Try it just by lifting one leg as you're at the sink. You can grab the sink or when you're waiting online. I mean, that's really a great, to be honest with you, even in my advancing years, I'm better at balance than I used to be. I used to just be unbelievably poor at balance. And it's just by lifting one leg or the other while you're waiting online someplace and really feeling all four corners of your feet in your shoe or on the ground. And the other thing about balance is what I've noticed, it's so much easier to balance when you have shoes on. Oh my God. When you take your shoes off and you're barefoot, balance is much more difficult. But anyway, be that as it may. Everybody meet on your mat. And let's just come right onto your back. Swing your feet up overhead. Put your head can be on the mat. So we're in this position. Feet are overhead, straight. My arms are sparking up. My fingers are reaching for my toes. Thinking about your abdomen, your muscles in your abdomen, we're going to crunch up. So you want your back to be going into the ground, and we're going to crunch for 10, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now bring your hands behind your head loosely. Your elbows are going in opposite direction. Bring your feet down 30%. Bring your legs down another 30%. And hover your legs, looking at your toes and flutter kick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Good. Feet to mat. Breathe. Here's another really cool ab workout. Stick your feet up in the air. This is what is a very minimal movement. You're just going to try to isolate, trying to just use your abs, get your butt up off the ground an inch. You're not really using the arms. Even bring your arms up so that they're not involved. And just try to get your abs to lift your butt up. And actually, they want the idea is to keep your feet stationary. Yeah, right. But it's amazing. Okay, that's just, I mean, it shows you these minimal movements that they can be so powerful. Rock and roll forward or come back any way you can to a downward facing dog. And knees can be on mat and lower down so that now your forehead is on the mat. Bring your arms long by your side. Your toes can touch. My forehead is on the mat. We're going to do locust pose. So what we do is we pop up, we pop our feet and legs and maybe a little bit of our thigh up off the mat, and then try to raise your chest. Your pelvis bone is really driving into the mat. And again, you're using your abdominals. So 1, 2, 3, pop up for locust. Try to bring your pinkies together like you're in an airplane, and down. Breathe. Come up for locust number 2 and breathe. And down. Now come up to upward facing dog and come back with into a tabletop position. So we're all stacked up. And now actually come up on your knees and put your hands in your jean pockets like this, like you're really sticking your hands right in the back of your jean pockets. We're going to go into camel pose. If your knees hurt, fold your mat or your towel and put your knees on that folded part, okay? So our hands are in our jean pockets. We're looking straight ahead. Our toes are flat or something like that on the mat behind us. Yep. And now, just like in dancer, a very small movement. We're taking our chest and we're pointing it towards the ceiling. So it's the middle of our chest to get up to the ceiling. Maybe your head drops back a little bit, or maybe a little bit more. And come out of that. So the people who really do camel beautifully, when they go back, they actually grasp their ankles and their heads all the way back. But when you look at a picture, there's no wrinkles in their back. Their back is smooth. So if you can feel your back, when your hands are back there, if you're feeling a bunch of wrinkles, you've gone too far. So you really want to, this is not asking a lot of your lower back, it's asking more of, again, big surprise, your abdominals, but we're trying to get your chest to that ceiling. Let's try it again. Hands in your pockets, you're drawing your elbows towards each other, and you're going to look up, and you're just tipping back. Breathe, and breathe, and come out of it. Good. So all of this, that locust and camel, is all prep for what we're going to do next, which is bridge pose. So come on your back. Now we can do supported bridge. So you can take a block and you can put the block underneath your hips like that. and whatever setting works. So this is good, you're in bridge. Or you can do it without a block, or you can take rest, whatever works for you, okay? So let's set up for bridge. I'm gonna graze my ankles with my fingers. My toes are at 12 o'clock. My arms are firmly in the mat. And I'm going to use my, oh God, if I say it again, you're going to smack me, but I'm going to use my abdominals to draw my hips up and also my feet and my arms. I'm not going to use my butt muscles. So come up. And you want to try to get your hips as high as they can go. And like in the warriors, my toes are really driving forward. And my shoulders are really on the mat, lower down. Breathe. Windshield wiper your legs if that feels good. We're going to do 3 more bridge pose. So when you're ready, come up and hold for 4 breaths. One more breath. And lower down. And breathe. And windshield wiper. And come back up. Bridge pose for 4 breaths. One more breath. And lower down. Breathe. Windshield wiper. Come up again. 4 breaths. Try to draw your knees into one another. See if that can activate your leg muscles. And lower down. And last one, now put it all together. Arms are really in your mat. Feet are firmly on the mat. We're using that to get our hips up, focusing on our abdominals, unclenching our butt, and breathe. Try to go a bit higher this time. Two more breaths. And Supta Baddha Konasana, lower down, bring your soles of your feet together, one hand at your belly, one hand at your heart, and slow your breathing down. On your back, we're going to do figure 4. So bring your ankle to your knee. My right ankle is on my left knee, and I'm going to grab my thigh with my hands, and I'm going to use my right elbow against my right knee to try to push it out for a deeper stretch. And I draw. This is sort of a runner's stretch, but it's a great hip opener. And breathe. We'll hold here for 20 seconds or so. Good, and lower down. And now let's do the other side. So that ankle, my left ankle's on my right knee. I grab my right thigh. I've got my left elbow on my left knee, and I'm drawing my right knee closer to me. You should really feel this. This is a hip opener. And let's hold it here for about 20 seconds. And lower down. Good. Stretch your feet out in front of you so that you're on a lying staff position. Then come up on your forearms. We're going to go fish pose. Point your toes and bring your chin back so you're looking at the ceiling, and try to draw your shoulders in if that works. And we're going to breathe in and out. We're going to use lion breath, which means breathe in and open your mouth and stick out your tongue. Ha. So breathe in. Ha. Breathe in. Ha. Breathe in. Ha. Breathe in. Ha. And lower down. Take a breath. Stretch out. Put your arms up overhead. Stretch your body. Good. And come up to a seated position. Bring your right foot to the inside of your left thigh and raise your arms up overhead. Face your left leg. My left toes are flexed. And fold for a one leg forward fold. And the point is to bring your lower back closer to your thigh as opposed to rounding. And only go as deep as you can. And breathe. We're going to hold here for about 20 seconds. Come back up and switch legs. Now your left foot is on the inside of your right thigh. Bring your arms up overhead and pivot and extend over your right leg. Drawing your lower back towards your right knee. If you can grab the soles of your feet for additional leverage, just as long as you've got some bend to that right foot. And breathe. We'll hold here for another 15 seconds. Good, come up. Now, both legs extend out in front of you. You can tap out your knees, both arms up overhead, and now a forward fold over both legs. And breathe. We'll hold here for 20 seconds. Good, come out of it. If you have a block, you can find it. We're going to go into an inversion. So if you've got a wall handy, you can scoot up and put your butt up against the wall and put your legs up against the wall. That's great. If you have a block, you can pop it underneath your sacrum for waterfall, or you can go up into shoulder stand, carefully being careful of your neck. So let's go up the inversion of your choice. I'm going to do waterfall. And the point is to get your ankles over your knees and your knees over your hips. It's really easy to kind of overextend or underextend here. Try to get everything stacked. And really, if you're in waterfall, if you're in any of these inversions, you really want your shoulders flat on the mat or floor. And breathe. This is restoring. It's our restorative pose. And breathe. And think of the things that you're grateful for or that make you happy. Another few rounds of breath. If you're in shoulder stand, go to plow, and then to knees around your ears, and slowly roll out. If you're in waterfall, remove your block, and if your legs are up against the wall, come out of that pose, and make your way to your back on your mat. And again, a big full body stretch, like you're just waking up in the morning. Try to get your lower back into your mat and draw your right knee into your chest. Hold it there. And then with your left hand assisting, draw it over your body. Your right hand goes out in a T and your gaze follows it. And you want to stack your hips for this twist. If your shoulder pops up off the mat, that doesn't matter. It's better to have your hips in a stacked position. Come out of it. You can bring your knee back into your chest and then switch. Bring your left knee into your chest. Really draw it in. And then with your right hand, assisting that knee over to the right, your left hand goes out in the T and your gaze goes to your left thumb. My knee doesn't get to the floor on my right quite, or maybe it's about 6 inches from there. And breathe. Bring that knee back into your chest. Actually bring both knees into your chest and scrunch up into a tight ball. Really scrunch, scrunch, scrunch. And Shavasana. Extend your legs out, flop your feet open, and your hands palm up for your final rest. Just breathe naturally. Bring some movement to your fingers and toes. And roll onto your side, cradling your head with your arm into a fetal position. And breathe here for a few more breaths. When you're ready, come up to a comfortable seated position with your eyes closed. And bring your hands to prayer as we are starting our day. We're so grateful for being able to practice together. We'll end our practice with the sound that we started with, 1 Om. Breathe in and out. Breathe in. We bring our thumb knuckles to our forehead and we look up. The light in me honors the light in you. We bow and say, Namaste, Namaste.